Hey everyone, this is Isaac here. Over the weekend I went to VidCon in Baltimore, so let's talk about my experience. It started with my parents driving 4 hours to Maryland from our home in southeastern Virginia. However, near Spotsylvania, my parents noticed a car flipped over on the side of the road. So we pulled over to the side of the highway and Dad went to go investigate the scene. Thankfully, no one was seriously injured outside of some scratches and concussions, and apparently the cause of the crash was the driver of the flipped over car being rear-ended while going 70 miles per hour. So at least it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Anyways, we got to Maryland at about 11 p.m.-ish, and the hotel we were staying at was actually really nice. Not much happened after that. I took a shower, I went to bed, and got up at about 7 or 8. Then we went down to the buffet for breakfast, and I had some bacon, a muffin, a croissant, and some pineapple. Breakfast of champions right there. So then it was off to the Baltimore Convention Center, and the line to the entrance was insane. And once we got to the front after maybe half an hour or so, we had to go to the front desk to get my ticket since we actually didn't get one in advance. And finally, I was in VidCon. The first person I met was someone by the name of Cosmo X Clouds, who does fan dubs of stuff like Genshin Impact and Murder Drones. I'll link her channel in the description so you can check her out. Next, I went to a panel on comedy where I met a guy named Hulk Lover. He and I had some banter about the content we make, and it was fun, so go subscribe to him too. He makes sketches, vlogs, and some art and gaming content here and there. After the panel, I had an overpriced as hell sandwich for lunch, and then I went down to the expo hall for the Crown the Creators event, in which some YouTube animators like The Odd Ones Out, Rebecca Parham, and Haminations would draw something and their teammates would have to guess the theme they were going for. It was a lot of fun, and I kinda lost my voice after screaming so much. Oh, and after the event, I met Haminations himself since I ran into him at his table. He was pretty cool. I snapped a picture with him, and I told him he did a good job during the drawing contest, and then it was back to aimlessly roaming the halls of the convention center, and then something incredible happened. At some point, I noticed a group of people sitting in a circle and decided to join them. Don't worry, they didn't mind. In fact, they'd get excited whenever someone joined their group. Why is that? Because they were essentially a cult. They were known as the Gay Losers Club since a good majority of them were LGBTQ+, and even though I'm straight, I'm also not narrow, so I fit in pretty well with them. Besides, I still do get very giddy whenever I see queer representation in modern movies and TV shows, and I have plenty of queer headcanons to go around. Anyways, we roamed the halls and inducted new members, one of them being Minecraft SMP YouTuber Ranboo. I did confess to him later that I hadn't watched his videos up to that point, but he was cool with it since me meeting him at VidCon seemed like a good introduction. I even got a hug from him at one point, so that was nice. The last major thing I did was sit around with the gay losers and wait for a box to open, but I honestly forgot who was inside it. And after that, I had decided that I'd done just about everything I wanted to do at VidCon, so I bid my cult farewell and returned to my hotel. Although I did meet two other sorta notable people while I was in the expo hall prior to that. The first one was Trendy Treats, a channel that makes videos about food and who gave me a bag of freeze-dried candy, and the other was the creator of something called Black Lion and Cubs. It's described as a manga/anime series and movement that the creator stated he wants to be the next big anime franchise on the same level as One Piece or Dragon Ball, and I said that if his franchise ever does make it big, I'll get to say that I met its creator. Anyways, I returned to my hotel, and after touching base with the parents, they ordered me an Uber, and I was taken over to the Harbor East Cinema for a showing of Paw Patrol: The Mighty Movie. And while I was regretting every decision that led me to that point, I do have to admit that the theater was pretty nice. And after the movie, I walked over to an Italian restaurant my parents were at, and I ate some pasta with shrimp and crab, as well as some really good garlic bread. The main course was good too, I guess. Then it was back to the hotel, and boy was I tired. I slept pretty good, and we left the following morning. Yes, I decided that I was content with my VidCon experience and that I didn't need any more of it, so we decided to head back home. But not before visiting the same mall in DC where I met Dave Pilkey all the way back in 2012. And after that, we drove back to Virginia, I blasted heavy metal into my earbuds while my parents satisfied their severe country music addiction, and here we are now. All in all, even though I was only at VidCon for a few hours, I had an absolute blast. I made some new friends, met some big creators, and just generally had a fun experience. I'm considering next year going to the BFDI and Inanimate Insanity meetup if it happens, since I just so happen to be a massive fan of both shows, but we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. But yeah, I had fun at VidCon, which I think is all that matters. So thanks for watching me talk about my experience at Video Convention in Baltimore, Maryland, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.